ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all who are listening to this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are in the midst of the deliberation on the verses from the 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That is the Dhyana Yoga, the way of meditation, the yoga by meditation. In the last class, we again had a relook of the verse number 29th, which goes as Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. So, we had also deliberated on this idea of Samadarshitva, especially in the context of modern day concepts of equality what we hear. So this Samadarshitva is based on the innate divinity of every being, or rather innate divinity of everything of this universe. That divinity is manifested less or more in different beings, at different places, in different things. But essentially, in its core, it is the same pure, untainted consciousness which is reflecting one way or other, through one thing or other, through one person or other person. The Samadarshitva, the equality, lies here. It is not forced upon it. This yogi realizes, ikshate, he sees it. As a result of, it is not belief, it is not dogma, it is not opinion, it is not view, it is not policy. It is the result of the practice of the yoga, that what it was said in the 28th verse, Yunjan evam sada atmanam yogi vigata kalmashah sukhena brahma sansparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. So, this yogi, evam in this way, employing his mind unceasingly, always, constantly, in Atmanam, in the self, and thus he goes past all kalmasha, vigata kalmasha, that his heart becomes bereft of all tents. Kalmasha is a tent. So, so to say, how one's heart is tented? When we do something selfish, then we become narrow. Then something, what Swamiji says, defines morality. He says, what is unselfish, that is moral. What is selfish, that is immoral. So you become small, and what we consider means to divide sin and a virtue, it simply can be divided as thus. What one is doing only to preserve his self, only to protect his self, even at the cost of others, that would be a sin, Ashubha karma. So, when this idea is extended, then we see that greed, lust, or anger in the pursuit of only self-interest, then that would be sinful. Same thing probably it would be in the context of when it would be in a larger context, not only for him. So this would be always a scenario, how that action will be decided upon the attitude of the person who takes that action, whether it is oriented by his self-interest only, or he is motivated by the larger interest. Then it would be decided, it would be selfish or unselfish. So this person, he goes past all these ideas of sin or virtue, of Shubha and Ashubha, of good and bad, of right and wrong. He has gone past because he has transcended his ordinary idea of self. That's why this yogi vigata kalmasha, he has gone past vigata kalmasha. And that's how sukhena, very happily, very easily, very comfortably, he lives as if in the vicinity, in the touch of that Brahman, Brahma Sansparsham. And then acute sukham, acute happiness, that extreme happiness, he enjoys. Atyantam sukham ashnute. So, this is very ironic, if you see, that all the time we are seeking happiness and pleasure for ourselves. But yoga says, you are actually the impediment, you are actually the barrier, you are actually the obstruction to enjoy that extreme happiness. You are actually the obstruction. It is very ironic. We seek happiness for ourselves. Yoga is saying, you are the problem. So, you are the obstruction. If you remove I, so then only this possibility of infinity opens up. Because as long as I is there, I is the definition. I is exclusivity. I am this and I am not this. This idea is I. Demarcation is I. So, now this person, the person arrived at this stage who is enjoying this infinite pleasure, happiness, acute happiness, atyantam. So, that there is no end, atiyantam, there is no end of this happiness. One thing you will realize, means it is difficult to believe that every time we are seeking happiness and pleasure, we are in fact a very low class of people who does not have capacity to enjoy intensified happiness. If it is given to you, you will not be able to survive it. Ordinary things of pleasure, they become very easily bore, but too much happiness you will not be able to bear. You might have heard such kind of news. Some person draws a lottery and he becomes lucky and dies of a shock. Dies of a shock because he won the lottery. Unfortunate that he didn't survive to enjoy his luck, what he has brought it. So we do not have capacity. This would be realized, any person would be realized. Every time we are seeking, it is like kind of the pleasure of addiction. Every time you want higher and higher intensified dose, that you want more intensified feeling, more consuming feeling, that you forget and you lose yourself, and that effect sustains. These are the two qualities. How much you can lose yourself, that is one quality of the pleasure, and how long it can sustain and pervade. Like many people, they have this different kinds of substance. So he probably consumes something in the morning or according to his schedule. All day his head is reeling nicely. He is in that place. How much pervading it is, how much lingering it is. So that he will say it is a very good thing. So how much your experience of this spiritual pleasure is indelible, that it is not washed away when you confront the word atyantam sukham. So this person is said to, he is as if living in the vicinity, in the sansparsha, in the touch of the infinite Brahma sansparsham. And that draws him all the time. That's why we see Sri Ramakrishna again and again, as soon as there is a little stimulus, a little provocation to his mind, and his mind is to rush into samadhi. That it has to be brought down. He had taught his attendants, like Hriday, like Mother and Swami Premananda, how to brought it down. Otherwise, that mind has the tendency to rush towards the infinite. Sukhena Brahma sansparsham atyantam sukham ashnote. Now, these persons sees this. Such a person, ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana. He sees that. He sees that samadarshi, to that equality. He is the person who sees the equality. For all of us who has not realized, who has not come on such a stage to have such a view, it would be blasphemy. It would be pretending, feigning. It is at the most belief. Maybe somewhat a better superstition. Nothing more than that. I can at the most draw from their realization, their findings, and tune my life as much as it is possible, and chalk out the way to live and decide. That much. But certainly I cannot claim that samadarshitva. It is not mine. I have not earned it yet. So this is the idea. So this is the state of the being of that person. This is how he sees the world now. That internally he is having that intensified experience. Atyantam sukham ashnute. Ashnute, as I told you, it is consuming, it is eating. That he is like maybe that happiness or that sukham is some kind of food he is consuming all the time. It is that happiness has become so gross for him, so tangible, so palpable for him, that the term is used, eating ashnute. He is consuming that. So this is the stage. Then we go to the 30th verse, and he says now, from carrying forward this idea of samadarshitva, sarvatra samadarshana, what is happening? Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sachamena pranashyati. Now, this samadarshitva, what is that seeing all equal? Seeing that Brahman, what is already equal, seeing that everywhere. That idea. Now what is that? That is, he says, now here he says that his that he sees everywhere, ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra, means everywhere he has that same perception, samadarshana. And what is that same? What is that? What is equal? And here immediately he change the language, and he says Mam. That I am, I, that God, that being, that principle, Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra. Yah, the one who sees me, Pashyati, me, Mam, Sarvatra, everywhere. One who sees me everywhere. Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra. Sarvam cha mai pashyati. That he sees everything in me. In me. Who is saying this? Sri Krishna is saying that. That one, that such a person, means taking this idea forward, that such an yogi, one who sees me everywhere. And everything in me, sarvam cha mai pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyami. For him, I am never lost. For him, I never cease to exist. Meaning that I am ever present for him. That now, for such a person, God is no more an idea. No more a belief, a faith. It is no more related or confined to only some places, a temple or a shrine, or where he practices sadhana, or to particular form of image. Now, he has gone past now everything of it. That is the realization. That is where he has reached. This is like the view from the Mount Everest. There is nothing higher to reach up to. And he sees me everywhere. Everything in me, this is the idea. That consciousness pervading in all being, which is immanent. And everything means it is also enveloping every other thing, every other being. Forget about the human being or particular kinds of human condition are qualified or distinguished by different characteristics. Forget about that. By color, creed, religion or anything whatsoever. Forget about only the humans or living beings. Everything, that is the word, sarvam. He doesn't say only the follower of Krishna, only Vaishnavas, or only bhaktas, only devotees, or only there is no condition. Sarvam, that is the word. All. He sees that consciousness everywhere. Everything in that consciousness. Or here speaking in the term of the God is saying, Bhagwan is saying, Krishna is saying, that one who sees me everywhere and everything in me, for such a person I am never lost. I never cease to exist. I am always present. I am ever present for him. That God realization is such a extreme phenomena, such a extreme experience, because it has to be earned at the cost of yourself. You have to lose, then only you get that. You cannot be there and have that. But this is, as Sri Ramakrishna says, that by using the stairs you go to the roof, and from the same stairs then you climb down. One where he negates everything, he loses everything. And when he gets that, the very few who return from there, they seize that now they also exist and this also exists. So this is very wonderful. Means you are having both. This Swami Turiyananji Maharaj, he was, from his from his childhood, he was devoted to Vedanta. Since the age of 11, or since he was initiated into Gayatri Mantra, he somehow set his heart upon the Vedanta philosophy. And since then he was practicing a staunch believer, and he had that guts to walk the talk, what he says, what he believes, to abide by that, to adhere by that. So since then his one episode, he has came to know Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna has given him instruction. Swami Turiyananji Maharaj and Swami Akhandananji, they used to live nearby, and they were friends, Gangadhar Maharaj. So once Gangadhar Maharaj came, Swami Akhandananji came. So Sri Ramakrishna asked that, where is your friend? He is not coming as frequently as he used to. So he says that he is studying Vedanta very rigorously, and he believes that unless he master this complex treatises on Vedanta like Panchadashi, etc., so he could not have the proper grasp of the principles of Vedanta, what Vedanta is. And Sri Ramakrishna says to Gangadhar Maharaj that ask him, that say him that I have asked for him, that he should come and see me. Then sometime Turiyananda Maharaj, then at that time Hari, so Hari Maharaj, he came and saw Sri Ramakrishna, and the same thing, that why you are not coming, and he said that, he says that without having the depth knowledge of scriptures, etc., you cannot have the comprehensive understanding, the deeper understanding of the truths of the Vedanta. So Sri Ramakrishna, in one line, he quips him. He says to him, what is written in all those books? Is it something more than Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya? Is there something more than that? And he was like struck by lightning. He says, absolutely. There is nothing more than that. Everything is all ratiocination, all the total structure and this edifices of arguments and all logics, reasoning. That is the crux. Is there something more than that, or more than that to prove that Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya? If you understand that, if you have accepted that, then why don't you try to realize that? Sri Ramakrishna said to him, and brought him his focus on the practice rather than only theorizing of the Vedanta. Now he got that. Now at the end of his life, Swami Turiyananji Maharaj, so he was in Varanasi. So he is saying, before his passing away, that Brahma Satyam Jagat Satyam Satyam Satye Pratisthita. He is saying now Brahma is also true, Jagat is also truth. that it is truth is residing in truth alone. There is nothing other than truth. Now, this is the realization. This is what he has come to realize, come to seek, and come to pursue. That tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. That idea of truth, that the person who has realized, now who is coming down, and he sees that I say that realization of God is how acute and how extreme that experience could be. Even approaching it, there are verses, they say that it creates such a fear in the heart of that aspirant that when at the gate of that infinity, with the fear stricken, they run from it. It is absolutely true. It is many times. Do not know. Even we see that kind of experience when Narendranath went to see Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna took him to other that place, that Shamu Malik's garden, and he wanted to miss his sat touching his knees to his knees, and at that same day he was giving him, passing on the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and everything he saw that is going into oblivion, that everything is, and he was terrified. Narendranath was terrified, and he said, "Oh, I have my father and mother." Then Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, then let it be. Can you imagine the person of the stature of Swami Vivekananda, whom there were no bounds, there was no limits, how much Sri Ramakrishna praised of his spiritual capacity. If given to him, he is terrified because he is not just yet prepared. So, this experience, Sri Ramakrishna says, forget about the extreme, the ultimate experience. Even in the progress of spiritual experience, you have to have robust health. Swami Vivekananda says that. You have to have robust health, otherwise your body cannot sustain spiritual experience. Can you imagine that? Sri Ramakrishna says that when you rise on this plane, when there is bhava happens. That higher spiritual experience, especially for those who are practicing bhakti and personal God. Now experience is something, it is not only your belief. Experience is something, it is apart from you, which you experience. And its power is so much, Sri Ramakrishna says, that like an elephant, if it enters into a small hut, that whole hut will collapse. If bhava, that's why this purity of deha shuddhi, this is also the importance of it, that your body will not be able to bear it. Your body will not be able to bear it. So that's why proper preparation and proper growth and this gradual transformation, that's why it is necessary, because this is the process, it prepares him for the higher experience. It is not simply if it is given to you, you can have it. You will not be eligible to possess it. You will not be able to bear it. There are many instances. Instance of Hridayanath is there. He once thought that Sri Ramakrishna, he is like my own uncle, like my childhood playmate, and he is now so great, he has become so popular, and many people are coming and bowing down their head and they consider him God, that I also must do something. And I will take matter into my own hand, and like that. And he said, from tomorrow itself I will start doing austerities, and I will do tantra sadhana, like that. So Sri Ramakrishna, that place is there, Panchamundi is there, everything is prepared. Sri Ramakrishna warned him, he understood his heart, what he is thinking. He said, Hriday, do not do that. Do not do that. But Hriday, he will say, what uncle knows, I will do that. So this fellow went there, he sat for some time, and then he is shouting like a hell. And Sri Ramakrishna heard, and he caressed his chest, and he brought down to lower consciousness. And otherwise this poor fellow, in want of, if Sri Ramakrishna wouldn't have been there, what would have happened to him, God knows. Hridayanath says that he was feeling like somebody has put a pot full of live charcoals on his chest, that he was not able to bear. Another example is there, Mathurnath Vishwas. He is a Rajasic person, he is like a king. He has done all sorts of things. He is not prepared for spiritual experience, but somehow that desire developed in his heart. And he pleaded to Sri Ramakrishna that I may have the higher spiritual experience. He said, you are nice only, you are living happily. Why do you worry about these things? Why do you bother about these things? Why do you, that is not for you, etc. But he was not leaving him somehow. Then he said, Sri Ramakrishna ultimately, as was his style, okay, I will say to mother. And after 3 days, this fellow returned. Mathurnath Vishwas returned. And his condition was terrible. That his eyes were red and constantly the running down the water. And he says that, Baba, Father, please take this away. I cannot have this. I cannot bear this. I am not able to, because his burn is still, his mind is still stuck to the samsara. He is saying in that condition that I am not able to do my duties. That is his worldly affairs of his estate, property, its administration and all that. Where that vasana will go? He is having spiritual experience at the same time, and at the same time he is having his old crooked self, which he cannot get bereft of, cannot get rid of. So even if it is given to us, we will not able to have it. We are not prepared. Such as that experience, such as that acuteness of that experience. It is so that's why I say this is the extreme experience. Impossible experience. This experience is impossible. Now the person who has that, you can imagine the dismay of it, that he can have the both. He can seeing the consciousness, seeing the God and the world at the same time. This is still more than that. So, it is not only going up to there, returning from there, that's what completes the cycle. So, tasya aham na pranashyami. For him, God is always present. That he is, as I was saying, the capacity of the higher experience, the intensified experience, that concentrated happiness, now it is increased so further that he is able to have that, inebriation of that joy, and still able to see and interact with the world. That is so much, that somebody has become so drunk, he has become unconscious, fall flat, and there is another fellow, he has been so much habituated, having drunk, still able to drive, or still able to do his business. His capacity is increasing. That he is seeing God, that experience, and he is seeing the world. Tasya aham na pranashyami. That God is present. He is never lost upon him. That he is living with God now. And Bhagavan says, Sachamena pranashyati. Such a person is never lost upon me. I always have him. I am always there. I am always there with such person. That wherever such person is there, I am always there. So, in Narad Bhakti Sutra, this idea comes that we have everywhere, all humanity have the concept of significant places, places of holiness, where people go to reduce the burden of their so-called sins, to wash away their sins, to what do you say? Anyhow, that word is not coming to my mouth. So, the holy places here in Hinduism, in Bharatvarsha, we see that rivers you go to take bath, and you believe that probably your sins will be washed away, and your heart will become purer. It will become more appropriate and capable of having devotion and knowledge, etc. Now the concept is, the question is, when you are washing all your sins in that river, in the Ganges, what Ganges is doing with those sins? Whether she not be polluted by your sins? So many people, so many sins you are committing, still you are not stopping. And you are using it as a public drainage system, washing your sins. So where she will take, what she will do? How she will become clean and purer? Where from will she not lose her holiness? Where from she will get her holiness? Where from, how she will preserve her holiness? So in Narad Bhakti Sura this idea comes. So, like we go to rivers or many Tirtha Kshetras, holy places, to so how does this Tirtha Kshetras, that holy places, get their holiness from? What happens? The burden of sins. How they will get their holiness? How they will preserve their holiness? So it is said, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. So these Tirthani, these different Tirthas, so they are made by these Tirthis, the great souls who visit those places. They attribute the holiness to the Tirtha Kshetras. That Sachamena pranashyati. That wherever, Bhagavan says, wherever that exuberant devotion is there, I am always present there. These people, by visiting these holy places, are wandering everywhere. They attribute this holiness to every place they go. That's why holy men travel. All great saints we see in their life, they travel. They go to the different Tirtha Kshetras. Even Sri Ramakrishna went to different Tirtha Kshetras. He went to Vrindavan. Holy Mother went. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. Shastri kurvanti shastrani. This is what they say. That these people of the realization, they attribute the authority to the Shastras, by which the Shastras get the power, the authority to rule the scriptures. Similarly, these holy places, they draw their holiness from these people, the people of realization. They attribute their holiness to these places. So, that's why these many times they are called as these great souls. They are Chalam Tirtha. They are mobile, Tirtha Kshetra, they are mobile holiness. That coming into the vicinity of these people, this has such a great power that if you are poised to take the help of their greatness, you will be immediately benefited. This is important. You must be poised. You must be somewhere in the realm, in the perimeter of it, to be affected, and you must have those sanskaras. Otherwise, in the village of Dakshineshwar, most of the village is to call Dakshineshwar, the Sri Ramakrishna as a mad Brahmin, isn't it? Because though Sri Ramakrishna is living there, very few people could understand the high state of experience what he had. Not all people can appreciate, because they are nowhere nearer to appreciate, understand, and comprehend these ideas. They are not poised. So, Sachamena Pranashyati, that God is present through these beings. God is always present for such a people. These people, that's why they are called as Chalam Tirtha. So, this is what that person becomes. That he is living with God everywhere. He sees God everywhere. And God is always with him, wheresoever he exists. Sachamena Pranashyati. That whatever hard work has to be done, it is done. Now it is the payback time. He is enjoying his pension. Now there is nothing more to be done, nothing more to be left. There is no obligation, there is no duty. Now his living is a blessing to the world. So this is such person, this 30th verse describes, Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasya aham na pranashyami, sachamena pranashyati. So this is the 30th verse. And we take this, now these similar ideas, they will come in 31st and 32nd verse also. But in the 32nd verse, we will see a little turn. So 31st verse, what does it say? Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam bhajate ekatvam astitah bhajati ekatvam astitah sarvatha vartamanopi sa yogi mai vartate. So he makes this ultimate statement that the one who worships, bhajati, worships, he is worshipping that God, Mam, me, the one who worship me, that God, that great principle of consciousness of infinity, that one who worships me, the one who is residing in all being, sarva bhuta sthitam. He is worshipping that being. Now, the presence of God, as I say, it is not confined to any form, any place. There is no time. Nothing is sacred or holy or not for him. There is one joke I remember when I said time, that there is no time. Sri Ramakrishna also gave some example. But somebody asks, he goes a regular church goer, that the devotee asks to the father, that father, can I smoke while praying? He said, no, you cannot. You cannot. So that would be blasphemous. That would be the inappropriate. That you should not. Then he returns back. Then he comes some other day. That father, can I pray while smoking? He say, you can always pray. There is no problem. You can always pray. Even smoking, if you want to remember God, so what is the harm? You can pray. So thank you, Father. So that is the thing. So this is the second stage. So that he has transcended all so-called formalities or limitations, conditions of these ideas of this world, of sacred, holy or not, that it is the constant experience. You can imagine, that's why Sri Ramakrishna says that this experience is so intense. If somebody has that, he can at the most live in that body for 21 days and this body will drop off like a dead leaf. That's why many times we see that these great beings, they do not live for long. They have a short life. Because they live very intensely. They live very intensely. So, this person is worshipping. Now, the word is used, worshipping. But now, so to say, now it is his constant experience that one which God is worshipping, Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, one who is present in all beings everywhere. Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, Yo Mam, I, the one who is present in all beings. This is very wonderful. This is, this idea means, though Bhagavan Krishna is speaking about the principle, he is putting it in the language of person. I, as if I am the person. So one person cannot be in everything, isn't it? So that attribution of personification to the principle, that is something beautiful. That is something which is to be experienced. That life in principle, that consciousness, many times we might able to think something like Mr. Dead. It is not like that. Bhagavan is all that again and again is saying, Yomam bhajati sarva bhuta sthitam. That I am in every being. The one who worships me, who is present in all beings, sarva bhuta sthitam. So, this idea goes further higher. It is becoming more complex. First we say person, and then say no person, it is principle, and then Bhagavan is saying yes, the principle and person. That's why Sri Ramakrishna's words are, he is so simple and his words appear to be so simple and gullible, like words of a simple and gullible. They are very complex. If you go, they could be mind-boggling. If you go in the depth of it. He is the only person I have found so far in all vast this library of the texts on scriptures. He is the only person that God is Sakar, Nirakar and beyond that. Nowhere these words are being used. Now only I can understand, yes, person, imperson, and yes, both. Gita says that. We might have interpreted, because a non-dualistic Shankara will interpret it in some way, qualified non-dualism will interpret it in some different way, dualism will interpret it in some different way. Alright. But most comprehensive statements we find coming in from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Some words are so difficult, his words are so difficult to even conceive, that he says in Bengali, Sakar is Nirakar and Nirakar is Sakar. Very difficult. That what does it mean? That sakar, that which is have form, of which the of it is the formless, and of the formless it is the form. So it is less. It feels like that Sri Ramakrishna is simply saying something. But probably if somebody realizes that could be possibility, and maybe come nearer to misunderstand that this complexity could almost exist, then it would be the simply unbelievable thing. That example, remember you that Mathurnath Vishwa said to him that even God cannot break the rule he has made. And Sri Ramakrishna is saying, what are you saying? The one who has made the rule, can he not break? He said, then can a red flower grow on the white hibiscus plant? He said, it is entirely possible. And next day only he brought that one twig which has the both flower. One there is a white hibiscus and one there is a red hibiscus. It is very difficult. Even sometime we might, it happens. It is going to happen because our understanding that Gauri Pandit had said to him that he was a great soul sannyasi, and he was a scholar of the scriptures, Vedantic scriptures. He had said to him that your states of realization, your realizations have transcended whatever the known data available is. Whatever there is known data about this realization is, what kind of experience a person can have at its extreme, at its all variance, they have transcended that. There is no such record of a being, any superior being can have something what we have experienced. That's why when he something says, we so intelligent people, we try to write him off. That maybe he tried to say like that. And if it appears before you in its total form, being the very the personification of the words what he has said, it would be totally mind-boggling. So sarva bhuta sthitam yomam. He is referring to the principle as well as saying as a person. Mam, I. Bhagavan Krishna is saying. He could have said tam. There would not be any problem in the poetry. Matter would have been extinct, just intact. There would not be any problem. So, but referring to the principle, attributing to himself. This also it should dawns upon our mind that at what a high stage this Sri Krishna must be when he is speaking these ideas to Arjuna. Yogastha. He is in a high spiritual state when Krishna is saying this. That's why he is doing this. When Arjuna himself on a later day after this Mahabharata war and all that had requested Sri Krishna to say, to impart him that nectar of the Bhagavad Gita, what he has given him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He said, even I cannot do that. So, this is the state of the mind of Sri Krishna. Yogastha. He is in highly elevated spiritual state. That's why he is referring to the principle, attributing to himself. Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam bhajati ekatvam astitah. He says here, adds another word, bhajati ekatvam. This word he adds here. That me, one who is present in all being. And then he says ekatvam, in the form of oneness. Ekatvam, in the form of oneness. That oneness, one which is present everywhere. In the differentiation, in this variance, that the principle of unity, that principle of oneness. I am that one who worships that. How wonderful this statement is, just to contemplate. Sarvatha vartamanopi. That sarvatha, always. Varta means behave. Vartamana, one who is behaving, that is happening. That means existing. Interacting. So it is not the state of non-happening, it is state of happening. That is, that person is there interacting with the world, maybe carrying out or whatever he has at hand, whatever he wishes to. Sarvatha vartamanopi. Sa yogi mai vartati. He always exists in me. In me, that is the word mai. This is the seventh case of this Sanskrit grammar, Saptami Vibhakti. Mai vartati, he exists in me. That person has become one with God. That he is within God, not God is within him. He is within me. That's what Bhagavan says. So these ideas are so lofty, of so higher experience. But we must always contemplate this. This is the dream. Maybe every devotee he must cherish. Every spiritual aspirant, he must harbor this ambition in his heart to experience this, to become this, to come up to here. Do not negotiate on this. Do not ask, do not compromise on this. Do not ask or accept anything lower than that. Sarvatha vartamanopi sa yogi mai vartate. Do not aspire for anything less. Whatever the cost, whatever the time it might take. How much ever lives it might take. How many lives it might take. Do not compromise. Stick to it, you will reach there. That is the thing. That it is yours. It is yours. Yes, you only have to be adamant. That's it. Then not to ask a compromised solution. Do not bargain. So this must be the heart of a devotee. This must be the heart of a spiritual aspirant. Nothing less than that. Sarvabhuta sthitam yomam bhajate katvam astitah. Sarvatha vartamanopi sa yogi mai vartate. This experience, to become that, to arrive there, that must be our dream. So, with this, we conclude today's class, and we will see the 32nd verse in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.